if you want to bring in big customers and sponsors, they're going to expect a lot for what they spend, and you better have the amenities that they're used to.
What's Michael say about that? Michael Jordan, for those who don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been a great partner.
How did you talk him into this? I know he's into racing. Like, he used to be into bikes, right?
He did. He owned a motorcycle team, and so to circle back, it all started during COVID, and obviously, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And immediately, I asked David Wilson, like, is there any interest in me owning a race team? And, JGR was losing LFR. COVID had took its toll on a race team that was a Toyota team. I'm like, can I pick up the pieces of that team and kind of bring it in and start a new team? And
wow, were you drunk when you thought of this idea?
That's what Joe asked me. He's like, are you crazy? You're making all the money now. Why do you want to go spend it? But I just thought that, I wanted to have my say. And honestly, I got down to Richard Petty Motorsports, and that was a team that I was looking to buy a minority stake in. But ultimately, I found that I wasn't going to get the control that I needed, the autonomy to really run it the way that I thought it needed to be run. And so I'm like, yeah, this isn't the right fit for me either. And Bubba Wallace was a free agent, and he had some sponsorship with him. And I'm like, how can I put all this together? Because Bubba used to be part of the Toyota racing family. And even with Joe Gibbs Racing, how can I put all these pieces of the puzzle back together? And so actually a speculative article came out, and it said that Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan were looking to purchase a minority stake in Richard Petty Motorsports, which was absolutely not true. I never even talked to Jordan about this at all. And so a lot of it started from the rumors from the ownership at RPM at the time. They had other celebrity people that were looking to buy a minority stake in there. And people just assumed that celebrity was Michael Jordan because I was friends with him. Absolutely not true. I took this article, the headline, and I sent it to Michael, and I'm like, let's just see what he says here. So I sent it to him, and he says, well, that's obviously not true. It's fake news, but if you want to make it real news, let me know. I'm like, okay, how do I respond to this? And I'll never forget, I was on the 9th hole at the golf course on my second shot, and I got so fluttered that I left my ball sitting there. I went to the green, and they're like, dude, you didn't even hit your shot. And I'm like, oh, I got to go back and get my ball, because I'm like, how do I respond to this? And so he says, well, are you going to be a team owner or not? And I says, I'm thinking about it. Why? He says, well, if you are and you want to partner, let me know. And I says, when can you meet? He's like, anytime. So I says, all right, I'll be there in 2 days. I got my team at Pro Sport Management to essentially type up a business plan. Here's how it's going to go. Here's what we need. They worked day and night to get me this business plan to give to him. And I gave it to him. And I says, here's the plan. He's like, all right, well, it looks good to me, but it's got to get vetted. So he gave it to his business people. They spent about a month getting NASCAR 101 education on all this. First, they asked, like, are you kidding me? This business model is terrible. I'm like, I know, but it could get better. It's possible that it could get better.
These are the best or the worst time in the whole wide world to start.
That's right. We will know.
And you guys like to gamble.
That's correct. And so, listen, for us, we decided to pull the trigger. A month later, he says, I'm in. And we started a race team, which was now been 18 months ago. So it's crazy how it all started. We've won, 3 races in the year and 3 quarters that we've been in the sport, which is unbelievable.
Are you surprised by that? Because it's so hard to win in NASCAR, let alone when you just start a team.
This is not easy. Beating Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing that have been around for decades is hard. And the infrastructure that they have.
In Ford versus Ferrari, when they make it look like people were like, oh my gosh, is that real? I'm like, it's harder than what they made it look like. There's more politics than what they make it look like. I was like, they just built a car to go win at Le Mans. Like, that does not happen.
I know.
So it's so impressive what you've done.
Yeah, it's just been crazy because, it is hard to come in here and win. And so for us to have 3 wins already, it's just been amazing. We're on a trajectory. I told everyone this is a 5-year plan. I told Michael, Curtis, my whole team, this is a 5-year plan to be a championship contending organization. That is a real timeline. Now we are only in year 1.8 8 or so, right? So this is still a building process, but we have some big plans on the horizon that we're working on. We're kind of waiting to see where this model goes before we pull the trigger on them. But ultimately, I feel like we are going to be a team that wins races on a regular basis every single year. At least a year or two from now. Like we're already competitive. We're already in the final. We already punched our ticket in the owners championship to the next round with Bubba Wallace. So it's just really been amazing, the run that we've been on, and bringing on Kurt Busch was just one of the best things we ever did.
I love Kurt. I think Kurt's a great guy, and he's very helpful. He's a very helpful teammate as well. So I'm sure he's been helping in that category. Well, I'm wondering what is going on with him. But first, before I ask that question, are you more surprised to be winning races, have won a race in your first year and have 3 wins at this point in time with not even being completed with the second season? Or are you more surprised that it's Bubba? Are you more surprised that Bubba won a couple times?
Oh, that is a great question. I would say that I'm more surprised with Bubba. And I thought he was very good, but I didn't realize the potential that he has. Now, it was a bumpy first 10 months. Trust me with Bubba. It was like, trying to get him to, okay, here, Bubba, here's my process in which I get ready for races. Here's the data that I look at. Here's what I think you need to be studying. And it's tough because I expect him to have the same work ethic as me, but I can't control him, right? All I can do is say, here's the formula that works for me. Hopefully it can work for you. But I realized quickly that he needs to be his own person. He needs to do the things that he sees correctly. And I'm really, really proud of how he has progressed as a NASCAR driver. The strides he has taken just in the last 10 months has been unbelievable. He's taken himself.
What has he done to do that?
He's taken himself from a mid-pack guy to someone that runs chronically in the top 10 every single week now. And so
what do you do?
It's just been great to watch because he's now seeing the results of the work that he's putting in. And so it's always tough because if you don't see results from the work that you put in, it's easy to quit right away, right? It's I'm not here for the long game. I'm here for the immediate gratification. And I think that, we trying to walk him through this process that here's what it's going to take for you to be better down the road. And here's what you need to be keeping notes on for next time. And I think he's started to do that and started to see great results. And now I think it works like me. Now he's feeding off of it and give me more, because he's starting to see results and see his true potential.
Wow. Well, good job in teaching him, but it sounds like he just started to work harder.
Yeah, I think he really started to buy into the things that we asked him to do, the things that we asked him to study. And, ultimately you have to want it, right? I mean, this is everyone is so good. And I've realized in my older age that I don't have the natural talent that most of these good drivers have. I just work hard. That's just a fact. I feel like I work hard and I work on my craft really hard. And, I'm open to new things. If I need to drive things differently, fine. Then whatever I need to do to get better as a driver. I never have stopped learning as a driver, even 18 years in. And so I think that's what we're trying to instill into our drivers is for them to be the best that they can be. And we're starting to see it.
Okay, let me give you a scenario. So you race for 3 more years. You get 8 more wins, but you don't win a championship. Or this year you win a championship and you're done. You're done after this championship when you win after you win it, or in 3 years you'll have never won a championship and you'll have retired and you'll have 8 more wins, which is a couple more each year, which you're pretty good for.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know I want to get to 60. I want to get to 60 wins.
Where are you at?
48.
You're not there, so you won't make 60.
Yeah,
but you'll get 8 more. You'll race for 3 more years, but you won't have a championship.
This is tough, but I'm going to take more wins. I'm going to take getting to 60 with no championship.
You can't get to 60 though. You get 8 more. That's it.
But if you're saying I win a championship this year and at 48 wins and I'm done. I would rather have 60 wins and no championship 3 years from now, just simply because I value the wins more so. And I value the championships less than what I do have in years past, because the way they crown the champion is just a lot different than it used to be. It's just one race now. And it's like, I won 60 of those. So what's the big deal, right? We've had champions that have won like 10 races. So yeah, 60 means like you've had a long career and it has been successful throughout your career. To me, that means more. Do I want a championship? Absolutely. I mean, am I tired of hearing about it? Yes, but it doesn't define me. I mean, people know, all my competitors know when I hit the racetrack, they're going to have to beat me to go win the race this weekend. And so that's all I care about is having the respect for my peers that I am one of the best, regardless of whatever I have in that stat column of a championship.